For the latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Outdoors with me, Mike. Today I'm giving you guys a bit of a review video on a brand new tent from Vango. So with me here today I've got the Vango Harris TC500. So the Harris basically is a model that's kind of in Vango's collection for 23 season going forward. Now what makes this a little bit different is the fact that essentially it's all about having ultimate ventilation. And with this particular model which I got here is the TC, i.e. it's the polycotton material. So you can pretty much pick and choose what you want to go for. So it's available only in a polled in the TC collection, but it's all about offering sort of a good sleeping area and a sort of reasonable sized living area, but a really nice open canopy to bring the outside in. I think definitely be a bigger hit more so in Europe than it would be maybe in the UK, but for me I still really quite like it. And it almost is, it's almost a, not regurgitated, but it's kind of, if you remember the Farley TC that kind of Vango did a few years ago, it's the same kind of concept with that, just with a bit more ventilation, and that for me was really quite popular, had a lot of talking points, and they have made some improvements since then, which we'll kind of go through this video. So first and foremost, the joys of this being the polycotton material, it's a breathable fabric. So on a warm day, the weave of the fabric can open up, allow air to pass through, so it's have a lot cooler temperature inside. On the contrast to that, when it's cold, the weave contracts and keeps the warmth in. So it's the best of both worlds. It's a more natural material. So what you find is actually it's a bit quiet in the wind. You get that little tipper-tapper of rain rather than that synthetic kind of loudness. And generally it's a nicer material to be around. Once you go to polycotton, you don't really look back otherwise. Other things to mention is the fact that its longevity. Its lifespan is much longer, so you're looking around about 2 to 3 times the length of a polyester material, a standard one that is. The benefits of that, certainly even in your higher UV areas, be it in like mainland Europe, but even in the UK, you will see a big benefit to that, if not down to purely the breathability. I'd expect there to be at least probably a 3 or 4 degree difference between a polycotton tent and a polyester, if not more, on a warm summer's day. And certainly after the summer we had of 2022, breathability is definitely high on the agenda and seems to be only going one way really. What we've got really is kind of it's a sort of semi-free zone tent. So you've got sleeping, living and an open canopy as I previously mentioned. Fiberglass poles keep the pack size nice and light but still give you a good amount of durability. Now the poles are also color coordinated for you, so what you find is you have a little tab on the seat, basically the actual pole sleeve itself. So you've got a black part located there, and basically the pole will then be continuously black. When you go to the back section here, this got a little grey tab and there'll be a grey section in there, so that way when you come to pitch the tent, you can clearly see what goes where and it saves you a lot of aggro. You can check out our own pitching and packing video that we've done on the Harris TC, and it shows you how quick, simple and easy it really is. It's very similar in terms of its pitch size to the Alton. Same sort of thing, great, you can be done on one person. I think it took me in the region like 10 to 12 minutes to do, which means it's perfect for weekend trips or even those longer stays if you wanted to do. For me, I see this really as ideal for smaller families or even couples, and having that sort of more open scenario I think works really quite nicely. From pitching what makes it a bit easier as well is the fact that the pole sleeves aren't all the way to the bottom, they're a bit higher up, so it means that feeding the poles through is a lot easier, there's less to feed through, and generally you find it easier at the bottom to get it into the ringing pin, and you've got an adjustment strap as well so you can tail it out and then bring it back in to get the tension you need. Little clips located on there keep the pole nice and tight to the fabric. Guy lines come in standard, so on the sides what we've got is normal guy points. One kind of criticism, should we say, is that they are just grey, so for me it is a bit more of a trip hazard, but people have been very creative and you can almost, just, to be fair, replace them with something a bit more visible. On the front though and the back we've got these storm straps, so nice webbing storm straps to help get extra tension into the roof section itself. The poles themselves are a little bit pre-arts, they're not fully, but they have got a little bit of a pre-part to them to help try and increase the height, but it is definitely more domed. Whereas you look at the Lismore TC, the poles are definitely more kind of arced in that sense. The open canopy is quite a really nice area to be quite communal. You can happily sit out here on a nice day, and then you can obviously dine and wine out here with enough cover, because you've got that sort of side scope to it, and the front part of it is a little bit longer. Again, you've got a bit more shelter from the wind and the rain. Flexibility is key, so as we kind of go into the section in a second, we'll show how the front door actually works. In fact, let's swing the camera around and have a look now. So now the camera's round, you can probably appreciate for kind of the setup we've got going on here. Now what we have is almost like a 50-50 door. So the door for the entranceway opens halfway up, but you have got the ability to open up fully if you wanted to benefit from it. Like I said earlier, ventilation is the key part of this tent, so having airflow throughout of it is what we're looking for. So not only have we got all of the windows sort of on the front and even to this side have a full mesh part to it, it's just having that breathability, but there's also a really nice big ventilation point directly at the back of the tent itself. Again, more equipped for those hotter climates, or just having a bit more of an airflow through the tent. Wherever you've got your sort of mesh windows, what you've also got is a blind internally, which you can use to zip them up. So again, it just gives you the ultimate amount of privacy. You can always, again, because it's zipped, go almost halfway or fully up to the top, so you can pretty much pick and choose how you go for. And not only do you have it on this side, but also on the front door here, you have it as well. You have got the ability, like I said, to open this back fully, so you want to really invite the outside directly in. That's quite easy to do. That has been pegged very well. Perfect. One thing you've also got is a trip-free access into the actual tent itself. So what you've got is a very clever kind of drop-down lip. This is the joys of allowing you to have a trip-free hazard directly into the tent. So as you can see here, you haven't got to worry about it, but then it can toggle up. Not only does it toggle up, what it also does, it's not toggled up just in the corners, it's also toggled up directly in the middle, just again to kind of give a bit more of a comprehensive seal against the actual wind and the rain from stop it coming in, so you can really benefit from best of both worlds. And because the door goes halfway or fully, you've got two, so you can have one up and one down, or kind of pick and choose how you want to go for it. Let's put this here to show up. So again, you can have it a bit more open like I have here. Now in this section we've got one PVC window to our right and then one mesh window to our left, or the opposite for you anyway. The PVC window on this side allows you to get great visibility regardless of what the weather's doing. If it is raining, you are naturally have that one shut. You don't have to worry about having these shut because you've got the rain safe canopy door, so you still have vision out but also have that breathability side of things. The curtain itself can go up halfway or fully up to the top. So again, you can pick and choose between what you want to achieve. It mainly just toggles up nice and neatly like so. But what you can do, of course, like I said, is have it halfway. So needs must for how you want. Then you just roll it down and it just toggles nice and neatly underneath the window. You've also actually on the Harris got this ventilation point beneath the window to help increase airflow. And from the bedroom side, what we're looking at here is kind of meant to be a 5-person, hence the 500 name. For me, I see this as more as a true 4. What you have is a bedroom divider that's split 50-50. So you've got almost like 2.5, 2.5, or, you know, like I said, a comfy 2, another comfy 2. But you have got the ability to move the bedroom divider because it is only just toggled. So you can basically put it across. So it is really a 2 and a 3 berth. So what you could almost do is say have your master bedroom if there's 3 of you for yourselves, you know, adults, and then the kid or kids can have their own little bedroom to the left. Other things are hanging points for lanterns. You've got one located on above the bedrooms, one also on the front door here. But one thing you're really going to utilise, which is, again, is quite nice and neat to the TC range, is the fact you've got the SkyTrack system. So that's not something you see on the normal Harris, same as the webbing storm straps. You don't get that benefit. So that's one of the other features that you do benefit from it as well. The SkyTrack allows you to have almost like a storage organiser hanging down, which you buy additionally, or have lighting swooping around the tent itself. Personally, I would recommend the sunbeam light. For this tent, I would say the flexible one, that is. For this one, I would probably say I would go with a 2 metre. I think if you went a 4, it would literally go up, down, around the other side. So pick and choose kind of what you fancy on that side of things. We've got separate doors, obviously, for each section. High level ventilation points at the back to allow airflow, and we'll have a look around later on in the bigger one. What we also have is storage pockets built down in the side of here, so you can put things like keys or phones or torches in an easily accessible point. So when you wake up in the middle of the night and you can't see anything, at least you can reach around and see what you've got there. The mesh window, as we talked about on the side, was the same kind of concept as the front, so you can have it sort of semi-up or fully up. And in fact, let's kind of bring ourselves in actually and talk through some other details up close. You have got actually a cable entry point into the actual part of the Harris TC, which is located at the side. So in the corner just down here behind the bedrooms, you can have your main cables in, but there's no reason you couldn't just, like, say, tuck it in the doorway. There's a little bit of a point you can go from there, and then you can utilize the SkyTrack to sort of bring it all up to a hanging lantern if you really wanted to. So now inside, you can see the crystal clear windows to the one side, a very generous sort of, say, 2.5, and then another 2.5 on the other side, and it's quite dark in there as well, which does make a difference. You also benefit from Vango's TBS system, so it's basically a tension band system to give internal bracing on those windy conditions, something you just pop in as and when you want to. It's only situated in kind of just above the bedroom section, but it's going to add a bit more resilience to the tent. And then, in fact, there you go, the sunbeam lights I was talking about. You can see it's nice and dark in there, and a good sort of depth bedroom to it. We've got the mesh window with the low level ventilation point to help sort of increase airflow. And also with the door fully open, you can see kind of the overall depth. You can happily get like a chair or a cooking unit directly in there. What we'll do, let's head down the side. And look at this rear vent. So we've got top vent at the top, and then your bigger vent at the bottom. It's a bit wider than you normally think, but you've got the ability to have it out and ventilating even when the weather is a bit intermittent. So if it's raining, you haven't got to worry about it. But if you want it fully open, you can actually just roll the whole gusset directly up, and then you've got a full mesh part to it nice and neatly. Or again, you can close it up, but for me, you always want to have it open, regardless of what the weather's doing. Apart from if it's blooming freezing, then I can probably say, yeah, it's definitely worthwhile. But all in all, I think the Harris is quite a nice model. Something, again, I think that it's not going to be for everyone, but I think if you're looking for a small couple's tent that's not quite completely free zone like your Lismore TC is, it just offers something a little bit different. It's quite nice to have, obviously, the choice of something like this. But certainly for, like, if it was just myself, I'd probably go for something on this sort of size. You know, it's big without being too big. You can stand up in for it. Even the bedroom section, you can still physically stand up. But by all means, let us know what you think of the Harris TC. It's always good to have feedback, good, bad, or ugly, from you guys, and we can always pass that on to Vango and what you think of the material versus, say, the polyester version. It's always, again, interesting to find out what you guys are thinking. For more information on the Harris TC, feel free to check the link below this video. It takes you through to our website. We've got more information on things like pack sizes, floor dimensions, individual pack, the pack weight for one, individual features listed as previously said, and gives you a bit more of an idea with our pitching video, prices, and sort of other package deals and things we've got going on with it. So it's always worth a little look. But really, yeah, that's everything, I think. So that's our little video review on the brand new Vango Harris TC. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully we'll see you again soon in our next Attwoolls Outdoors video.